Hi Siobhan, it was great discussing discharge last time, and hopefully people have seen the other podcast. If they haven't, then my name's Sarah Brownlow. I'm a community nurse fellow working with NHS England at the moment. Do you want to introduce yourself, Siobhan?
I will, and I'd encourage you to watch both of our podcasts, not just one. You're missing a treat. I'm Siobhan Ebden. I'm a community nurse fellow with NHS England too.
So last time we very much looked at what happens whilst people are in hospital, and actually as staff, how can we support our patients towards going home? Our mantra is there's no place like home. Dorothy got it right in The Wizard of Oz when she said there's no place like home. So what we want to talk about is, well, what next? So we talked about how do we keep people independent and support people, but how can our staff in the hospital support patients to make that safe return to their home?
So that's about thinking about that our patient's recovery needs to continue at home. You don't need to be in absolute tippity top condition before we can discharge you from home. So as we gave the example last time, some people have quite happily furniture walked safely for many years. We don't need to make sure that somebody can run a marathon before they head home, just as long as they can be safe and look after themselves or with support. So we need to be looking at assessments about our patients' ongoing care needs being carried out in their home. And there is a model called Discharge to Assess. It looks at trusted assessors, people who can come and do assessments at home to make sure that you can be cared for safely and effectively in your own environment, so that we can get you home as quickly as possible. So the questions we need to be asking is, do we know what support, who can support your patient at home, and the services that are available?
Absolutely, because actually assessing somebody in their own home is so much better, isn't it, Siobhan? Because you're assessing them in their environment, because our hospital wards, as much as they're lovely environments, they're so alien environments for our patients. We ask them to walk down an entire ward to go to the toilet, when at home it's just through the other door. So I think it's really important that actually we start to assess people at home. So Siobhan, once a date for discharge is identified, then there needs to be steps in place, doesn't there, for the patient to leave early in the day, especially in our winter months. I mean, it's winter at the moment, and actually we don't want patients heading home in the dark. And it's really important that we do look at trying to enable that early in the day.
So Sarah, who needs to be involved?
Well, I think people on the wards, we need to have discussions with patients' families, friends. Friends might be there to support somebody to come home, carers, especially if somebody's got a care package in. We need to be having those early conversations with the care providers to find out when is it that they can restart the care package, and actually building that backwards then to how quickly can we get somebody home. Having conversations with the district nurse, if you need a district nurse to come and visit, actually how quickly can they come in? If we're asking them to come in tomorrow, that might be a bit soon. So if we're asking them for the day after, well, starting to early plan that. And not forgetting that actually we need arrangements for transports. It might be that a friend can get in a taxi with a patient to transfer home. But especially at this time of year, making sure that we've got the heating on, making sure that the patient's going home to food and that there's food available when they get home, and some milk for the cup of tea or coffee. And if there aren't any friends, asking support from charities such as Age UK. There are a number of charities and a number of organisations that do support people to go home. And I know in my in my previous role, we had it set up that there was Age UK supported people to actually physically go home. So it's going back to what I spoke about in the first podcast. It's about knowing what's in that local area. The other thing is the fire service will quite often take people home in some areas of the country, and they'll also do assessments in the home as well. We do have a number of action cars that are available, and actually, as I'm saying this, it's going to appear on the screen, and they are pocket-sized action cars, and they're absolutely brilliant. And the action cars are designed for different staff members to look at, and it just gives top tips and guidance, because we know we're not telling you we're not telling you something that you don't already know. But sometimes when we're really pressured and there's a lot going on, as it is in the winter that we've had at the moment, then it can be really difficult sometimes to see the wood for the trees and to actually process these things really quickly. So they're really useful prompts.
And the action cards will reinforce the importance of communication and how important it is that we've taken the right steps to provide the discharge information, including medication and care arrangement. That information is provided quickly to the patient, the family, care agencies, the patient's GP, the community nurses, accurate information provided promptly. In the Home First training, it talks about the ABC of Home First. So attitude for A is about our desire to work with the patient and provide that personalised care. Behaviours is doing the things that need to be done in order to support that. And C is for communication. It's just so important that we all understand what it is we're trying to do and how we're going to do it. And we just then need to reinforce those 4 questions, don't we, Sarah?
We do, and I think going back to that ABC just a moment, Siobhan, sometimes when we're really pressured and we're really rushed, we sometimes don't feel as if we can take risks with sending a patient home, do we? And sometimes we feel, well, actually, Fred just needs another day in hospital. And sometimes those things are coming from our point of view rather than Fred's point of view, who desperately wants to get home to his dog and his cat. So I think those things are really important. And actually, sometimes it's about us as health professionals just taking a little bit of a risk on and feeling as if we need to just using our support mechanisms, using the support mechanisms out in community and our colleagues in the hospital as well, and just saying, actually, if Fred doesn't look as if he could cope at home, but actually with a conversation with Fred and his family, it probably can cope at home because he's probably been coping at home quite well. And I think that's really important, going back to those 4 questions that we talked about in our first podcast. And we're going to reinforce them again here because this is where we can help our patients to really understand what's the matter with them and actually what's really important to them. So those questions are, what's wrong with me? What's going to happen next? What can I do for myself to get better? And when am I likely to go home? And these questions are crucial all the way through that journey, aren't they? Whilst they're in a hospital and they're talking about home, but even when they're going home, that's important, isn't it, Siobhan?
It certainly is, Sarah. Definitely.
Yeah. Just to help them when they are back in the home environment, still to be going through some of those questions. And there's nothing wrong with writing those down for our patients. It's really been great chatting about this, Siobhan, and I hope to the viewers that it's been useful. We know that life's really tough out there at the moment, and hopefully this has just given you access to a few nuggets to help you support to transfer your patient home quickly and safely. Have you got any further comments to add, Siobhan?
I don't think so, Sarah. That's been a really useful discussion. We just want to remind you that the Home First training is available, but when colleagues find the time, and we want to thank our ECIST colleagues for making this happen. Thank you.
Thanks so much. See you later, everyone. Have a great day. Bye.